Today I will show you the safest, cleanest and fastest way to install Ubuntu alongside Windows without breaking up the boot menu, without losing any of your data, any of the files, and with a simple way to remove later if you ever change your mind. So what we are doing today, in this video we are going to install Ubuntu alongside your Windows together on the same machine or same laptop or same computer. This is called dual booting. You will be able to choose which system to start every time when you turn on your PC. I'll guide you slowly, clearly and safely, even if you are completely beginner. And if you are expert, hang tight and refresh your concept. Let's do this step by step. Step 1, download ISO. For that, head over to this website, Intel or AMD user. Click on this download. ARM users, click on this download. What is ARM? First time Ubuntu has introduced this image, ARM 64-bit architecture image for the desktop only. It used to be only for the server. With Ubuntu 26.04, desktop ARM image has been officially released by the Ubuntu. Means if you are planning to install Ubuntu on your virtual machine on Mac and VirtualBox is installed on Mac, in that case you must use ARM based 64-bit architecture image. That will make your life easier and that will be supported. If you go for Intel or AMD, it won't support at all. So I told you which one to download. And additionally, system requirement 2 GB dual core processor, 6 GB the system RAM requirement, which is amazingly high. I tried it even on the 2 GB as well, it's working fine, but official document says 6 GB. Why it needs 6 GB? Strange. I'm using Intel processor, so I select download or I clicked that download button. Now it is going to download. Meanwhile, in order to make the bootable, that is the next step, and for that we need to install another utility. So for that we have two kind of tools we can use for that. One is Rufus or Rufus, another one is this one. For Windows this works really well, and these are especially designed for works on the Windows. But if you are on Linux or Mac, then you can go ahead and download this one. I already used this but I don't like it, so choose whichever you like. I'm using Rufus, which I already downloaded. I have downloaded Bootable. If you cannot install, which I believe which would not be the case for you, so if this is the case, use the Bootable one. Again, these are the different architecture, so choose appropriately whatever is suitable for you. If you are on Mac or Linux, it also supports for Windows, but choose whichever you like. My preference is Rufus, so I will use this one. Let's come back over here and check. Alright, ISO downloaded. Let's go to the download folder. Next, I'm going to click on this. Yes, it's supportable. You don't need to install it. You can directly run over here. Do you want to allow Rufus to check for the application update online? No, I don't want to. This is one of the important steps before proceeding over here. Before making it that bootable, please make sure you have all your data safe. So for this select, here we have to select ISO, which we have downloaded. Select, then it says partition scheme MBR, where I want to select GPT and UEFI, and target system UEFI. Okay, and file system is still FAT32. Here you could give any level, whatever you want. So you could remember, for me it's fine, Ubuntu 26.04 AMD. So this will reflect the same name of your pen drive. Okay, it start. It asks you write ISO image mode, recommended mode. Okay, warning again. So make sure before hitting OK your data is safe. Now our ISO is ready. Next step to boot from this bootable pen drive, but before that we must have to pass some safety checklist. So again, backup important file, turn off Windows fast startup. How you could do that? Go to control panel, then hardware and sound. Here you have power options, select that one. Here you have option choose what the power button to. click on this one, and just to uncheck, turn on fast startup. Fast startup can lock the Windows partition and causes issue for the Linux. So that's why we have turned this off. Save the changes, close it. Next, hit Windows button, then BitLocker. Okay, in my case it's turned off. That's okay. And if you don't see BitLocker, that means it's already off. There are two ways. So now you can reboot and install alongside the Windows, but I would like to take more control on the installation. That's why I'm gonna do something different. So Windows X, just press that, select the disk management. So we will shrink the partition. Okay, here we have C partition. Right click on this, shrink volume. Okay, so it says size of available, shrink space in MB this much. Okay, so that's fine. And here the very important note, do not format the new space. Okay, leave it as unallocated. So in next step, now we are going to restart. Alter F4, restart, and now we are going to restart. And I said I'm using Windows 10. I didn't upgrade, it's just a test machine, but same steps you can follow on Windows 11 as well. Alright, so we will first enter into the BIOS. Okay, I'm using Lenovo ThinkPad. If you have some other like Dell, HP, so for Dell press F2 to go to the BIOS. Okay, and in HP you have option F10. In Asus we have F2 option. If you don't know, then there is an option by which you can directly go into BIOS from the Windows itself, that I will show you later. Okay, so here most probably in your case, okay, secure boot, don't disable it. Ubuntu 26 perfectly handle. In case if you face any problem, then disable secure boot. Okay, I mean, if you check with your AI, it will tell you, okay, disable secure boot, disable UEFI, legacy mode, all these things, but don't do that. Okay, try with that. If you face any problem, then do it. Okay, don't disable. Next we have to select on the startup where you have the boot option. Okay, in ThinkPad is like that. When you select on this one, you have a multiple option to select what is the boot priority. Okay, in my case I have put at the top Windows Boot Manager. That's fine. So I have Mac already enable all the settings. Here the important point, boot device list. Okay, you must enable if you want to temporarily make any changes. Okay, so we don't have to make any changes in the BIOS, but in case if you end up and if your Linux is not working, so disable for temporary secure boot and install. Okay, Control Alt Delete to just restart. Then I have an option, choose a temporary startup device F12. Okay, here I have an option USB HDD. My Ubuntu is installed. I mean, I have make a bootable of HP, this one. So I'll select, and here we have multiple options: try or install Ubuntu, Ubuntu safe mode graphics, boot from the next volume, UEFI firmware settings. So first select first option. Okay, so at the moment don't worry about the other options, just select first, try or install Ubuntu. So here we go, Ubuntu has booted from the disk. This is the welcome screen. It's very simple. Very first you have to select the language. Next, accessibility in Ubuntu. Here what I like, it's this one, large text, so we can read properly. If you want something else like zoom, it also provides like this. Okay, but at the moment we don't need a zoom feature at all. Next, after selecting appropriate keyboard, next, so at the moment I'm not connecting with the internet. Okay, if you want to, feel free to do that. Next, here we have three options: interactive installation, automated with auto install file, automated with landscape. As a home user, first option is enough. The rest two options are different, and these are more useful if you want to do the more automation, and these are mostly used when you have to create multiple machines. These are used in the organization. For example, if I select next, it asks me to import auto install file. Select a file. Okay, if you have an YAML file for the configuration, use this one. And but as I said, it's not for us. Okay, and if you go with the landscape, it will ask you for the connect to the internet, and you have to provide FQD and fully qualified domain name, and from where you boot your system to install the operating system on your machine. But as I said, those are for the organization, not for the day-to-day or for general users. Okay, that's out of scope in this tutorial. So I'll select interactive installation, so we will follow all the instruction on this screen so we can install the Ubuntu. Next, here I have two options. Next one, then we have as default selection and extended selection if you want each and every utility. So let's select extended one so we don't have to install later all the utilities. Next, then here we go, we have option install third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi hardware, and as internet is not connected, you won't get this one, but this option is fine, so it's just for the faster installation. And then here we got the option install Ubuntu alongside Windows Boot Manager, erase entire disk. Okay, so as I said, you really did not have to create a partition. Okay, free partition, it will automatically done for you, but we have created a separate partition that we have more control, and later I'll tell you, if you change your mind, how you can delete the entire install operating system from your machine. Okay, that will helpful. So it's up to you. If you want not to shrink, don't shrink that, but I did that to show you how you could do that. And here we have a erase disk and install. Okay, in this case, if I go and select next one, it will select entire disk and you will lost all the data. Okay, and manual selection when you have all this hard drive. So these are my pen drive and this is my Windows Boot Manager. If you are looking for manual partitioning, okay, I have very dedicated video on that where I have explained each and everything in very great details. Everything is step by step. If you want, go ahead and check out that. But for this installation, I'm gonna choose this one. And again, please take your backup of your essential data, essential things. Make sure your data is safe before proceeding with all these steps. So I'm fine. Install Ubuntu alongside Windows, though still alongside or dual boot is safe, but we are changing the partitioning. Okay, and I just want you to make sure your data is safe. So select this one. Next, then encryption, no encryption. Okay, so we will go with the no encryption. Okay, encryption with passphrase as well, but in your case, if you see encryption with TPM, so enable that will encrypt your hard drive. Okay, that's a new feature introduced in Ubuntu. You can have your data or your disk is completely encrypted. For example, if you're in a university living in a hostel, it used to happen. Okay, and you want to keep safe your data, nobody boots it, so at the time of booting you have to provide the key so your system can boot properly. It's a new security feature. I'm not enabling it. It's fine for me. If you want, you can enable. Next, then you have to provide information. Okay, your name, I've given my name, username, password is password, again strongest password. Okay, next, as it is not connected with the internet, it will ask you to provide the location, but that's fine. And if you don't provide, it won't let you go further. Okay, so I'm fine with that. Provide it. Next, here you have an opportunity to review your choices, what we have done. Type of installation, install Ubuntu alongside Windows Boot Manager. This is the installation disk. Okay, extended selection, we want to install everything. Then security and mode, this encryption none. Proprietary software drivers we have selected, right? And partition, this is the main data partition, SDB. It's a different one. This is the it's a SSD, that's why it's showing like this. Here we have a boot, and here we have a Microsoft Reserve partition, which is for the recovery, basic data protection, basic data partition. And here we go. Here it's a Ubuntu 26.04 create and formatted as ext4 used for slash. Okay, it didn't create multiple partition. As I told you, if you are looking for multiple partition, go ahead and check out video, okay, where I explain. Also I compare differences between Ubuntu 24 and the 26. All right, so install. Installation is done. Now we have to reboot it for the post installation configuration. So we are going to click on restart now. Then here it asks please remove the installation media, then press enter. So we have to remove pen drive, which I did. If you're on virtual machine, you don't need to, just hit enter, and we should see the Grub menu if it is installed correctly. Here we have option Ubuntu, advanced options for Ubuntu, memory test, Windows Boot Manager, UEFI. So we have to complete the post installation configuration, right? We have to perform that, and we are able to see first boot into Ubuntu. Okay, so we will first boot into Ubuntu to confirm it works, and then we will reboot again and choose Windows to confirm Windows still works. And it asks me for the authentication, so I have connected with the monitor. It is not reflecting over there. I have logged in. Ubuntu is working. Now let's test whether Windows is working or not. Restart. I'm booting into Windows. All right, so we have downloaded some utilities in downloads folder. Okay, so our data is still here. It means our dual boot worked without affecting the data. But still, it's a good practice always to take a backup, because data is everything. Now, time of bonus. So bonus is in case if you make change of your mind and if you want to remove Ubuntu XYZ any reason. And most of the people, what they do, they go over here, they select disk management, and they right click on this and they delete the volume. So please don't do this, because when you delete this you will run into a kind of problem. Okay, so don't do that. Instead, what we will do, let me tell you. Close, open this one. Okay, run as administrator, then type bcdboot, then copy this string as is, then hit enter. Boot file successfully created. Now we are going to delete the partition. For that, press Windows X, go to disk management. If you also want, you can also type over here, okay, and create and format this partition. It will also come over here. Okay, now, and this 75 GB, we could simply delete this volume. Yes, because this was the partition we created. Now click on this one to reclaim, okay, for extended volume. Next, finish. All right, now Windows is back to the normal, and in order to confirm, I will do this one, restart, and let's check if we only able to see only Windows, not the Grub loader with lots of options. Okay, all right, so we have successfully deleted without any problem. And that's it, a clean, safe, beginner friendly dual boot setup. If you don't want to delete it, if you want to continue, okay, so now you have installed it. So you didn't just install an operating system, you have installed the one of the most important technology in IT industry. Okay, if you want to take your career to the next level, go ahead and watch this video. This is the complete course for Linux. And if you want to learn about other tools like Kubernetes, Docker, Terraform, AWS, Prometheus, Grafana, Git, Jenkins. This playlist over here. If this helped you escape the Windows cycle, hit the like button. It tells the algorithm that Linux is for everyone. If you are stuck, comment below. I'll actually reply. Now go watch the first video in the DevOps series or in Linux series. Your future self will thank you. So see you in the next one. Until then, bye bye.